very delighted to see you all in our Make Science Easy with Dr. KMC YouTube channel. Today we are going to see an exciting area of today's the topic DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is an important topic, and this will be very useful in the modern the medical field of 21st century. The base behind this is the DNA. What is DNA? So DNA, or the deoxyribonucleic acid, is a complex molecule that contains all the information necessary to build and maintain an organism. It is the hereditary material. Every cell in a human body has the same DNA. The information of DNA is stored as a code constituted by 4 nitrogenous bases, fundamentally adenosine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. We call as the ATGC. The order or the sequence of these bases determines the information available for building and maintaining an organism. The human genome size is about 3107 megabases, but only about 1.2% of the total genome encodes for proteins. So this is around 20,000 genes, while 98.8% of the remaining is non-coding DNA. So which means that do not encode proteins. So with this group we have, for example, a variable member and number of the tandem repeats. We called as the variable number tandem repeats, designated as VNTR, which are repeated sequences of 9 to 100 base pairs. So that play a key role in the elaboration of DNA fingerprinting. So here the VNTR plays a key role in elaboration of DNA fingerprinting. Knowing the main DNA characteristics, specificity is the key to emergence of the DNA analysis. So that's why we are analyzing the DNA. The numerous other techniques used to determine the biological markers such as HLA and blood group substances have been successfully applied for identification purposes. All are based on exclusion, where markers are tested until a difference is found. Other factors favoring DNA analysis, which includes the small sample requirement, the ability to rapidly replicate a sequence a million-fold or more in vitro, and the relative stability of the DNA. The point is that the DNA analysis alone can be definite test. Once the technique becomes routine, there is little doubt that provided a suitable specimen can be obtained. So DNA fingerprinting will be the simple and single best test for excluding a falsely associated individual. So next we will see the brief history of the DNA fingerprinting. In 1980, Wyman and White laid the foundations for the concept based on the observation of a polymorphic DNA locus characterized by a number of variable length restriction fragments called the restriction fragment length polymorphism, otherwise called RFLP, which are specified sequences where restriction enzymes cleave the DNA. So here the RFLP, which specify sequences which are the restriction enzymes cleave the DNA. However, the history of the DNA dates back to 1985 with the paper The Hypervariable Mini Satellite which regions in the human DNA written by Alec Jeffrey. So Jeffrey and his co-workers were analyzing the myoglobin gene when they discovered a region consisting of a 33 base pair sequence repeated 4 times. So they discovered a region consisting of a 33 base pair sequence repeated 4 times. So this tandem repeat was referred to as a mini satellite, and simple regions and a similar regions as the hypervariable because the number of the tandem repeats is variable both within a locus and between loci. So in 1987, the Nakamura coined the term variable number of the tandem repeats, otherwise called VNTR, which to describe the individual the loci where the alleles are composed of tandem repeats that vary in the number of core units. When DNA is isolated, cleaved with a specific enzyme and hybridized under low stringency conditions with a probe consisting of the core repeat, a complex ladder of DNA fragments is detected. So this profile appears to be unique to each individual. So here the different core repeats were later isolated and used to produce a number of different probes useful for fingerprinting. So here the different core repeats were later isolated and used to produce a number of different probes useful for the fingerprinting the technology. For that time, this technique was unknown, but its potential are evident. Its potential was evident. So DNA fingerprinting had its own application in 1985 in a case of percentage testing, actually a maternity test with paternal DNA unavailable. So actually a maternity test with the paternal DNA unavailable. So in this unusual case, a mother with her little 13 years old son were arrested in the airport when they arrived in England from Ghana because the authorities thought he was not her son. He was not her son. So here a DNA fingerprinting applied to both demonstrated that effectively they told the truth. So the first application of DNA, the fingerprinting in forensic identification happened later that same year in a case that beautifully exemplifies the power of DNA evidence to link crime scenes, to exclude suspects and to support the convictions. So a suspect was arrested for the allegedly the committing a double rape and suicide for the 2 minors. So here a suspect was arrested for allegedly committing a double rape and suicide to 2 minors. So a DNA fingerprinting using a sample of the cement left in the crime scene demonstrated that a man had been responsible for both crimes, but it was not the arrested suspect. So he was released and the real culprit was arrested. So the real culprit was arrested. Nowadays, this technique is still used to create DNA profile of each individual in order to clarify some crimes or percentage the testing. So what is DNA fingerprinting? In simple words, DNA fingerprinting is the technology which is used to identify the individuals on the basis of the molecular characteristics of the DNA. More specific, this method uses VNRT because the number of bases and repeats within a locus is unique to each individual. For example, an individual can have in his genome the sequence called the geta geta, and this repeats 10 times, and another can have the same sequence but only repeat 5 times. So the technique is used as we have seen before in percentage testing and forensic cases, but it can be used for anthropological genetics, zoology, botany, the forensic medicine, among the other the disciplines. Importantly, this technique of DNA fingerprinting is very sensitive, which means that it can also generate data even from half partially decomposed the biological material. Why this DNA fingerprinting is important? An early use of DNA fingerprinting was in legal disputes, notably to help solve crimes and to determine the paternity. It is also used to identify the inherited genetic diseases and can be used to identify the genetic matches between the tissues donors and the recipients. DNA fingerprinting is also a valuable tool for confirming the pedigree in the animals such as the purebred dogs and horse and race horses. So what are the concerns about the use of the DNA fingerprinting? There are some: sample contamination, the faulty preparation, the methodology, and mistakes in the interpretation of the results are major sources of the error in the DNA fingerprinting. So here these tissues can cause the discrepancies between the biological proof and legal proof in court also sometimes. So in forensic, large amounts of high quality DNA are needed. Yet forensic DNA samples frequently are degraded or are collected the post-mortem, rendering them for the lower quality and subject to producing less reliable results than samples obtained from a living individual. So what are the methodology to create a DNA fingerprinting? The steps involves other techniques used in molecular biology such as polymerase chain reaction, we call as a PCR, and electrophoresis among others. The following are the steps to generate a DNA fingerprinting. Number one is the DNA is extracted from the nuclei of any cell in the body. Number two, the DNA molecules are broken with the help of enzyme restriction endonuclease called the chemical knife that cuts them into fragments with the help of the endonuclease. So these fragments of DNA are also contain the VNTRs that is used in the DNA fingerprinting. Later the fragments are separated according to the size by gel electrophoresis using agarose gel. The separated fragments of the single stranded DNA are transferred onto a nylon membrane. A radioactive DNA probes having repeated base sequences complementary to the possible VNTRs are poured over the nylon membrane. Some of them will bind to the single stranded VNTRs. This method of hybridization of the DNA with probes is called Southern plotting. The nylon membrane is washed to remove the extra probers and probes. Then the X-ray film is used to the nylon membrane to mark the places where the radioactive DNA probes have been bound to the DNA fragments. Ultimately, these places are marked as the dark bands when X-ray film is developed, and this is known as autoradiography. This is known as the autoradiography, and the dark bands on X-ray film repeat and represent the DNA fingerprints, or otherwise called the DNA profiles. So what is the use of the restriction enzyme based fingerprinting? Jeffrey's original the methodology, the restriction fragment length based DNA fingerprinting, that is RFLP analysis, is relatively straightforward. Is relatively straightforward. A restriction enzyme you use to cut the DNA at specific points, yielding fragments, as I said, of varying lengths. So these cleaved pieces of the DNA are then subjected to gel electrophoresis, as I mentioned, to separate within the based on the size, and finally visualized by the Southern plotting. When genomic DNA is cleaved with particular restriction enzymes, the resulting fragments can obtain a mini satellite we call as the VNTR region. Since the number of repeats in the satellite determines its length, and gel electrophoresis separates the digested DNA into bands based on the length of the fragments, and then the pattern of the bands reflects the number of the repeats in a micro or the mini satellite. When enough loci are examined, each points of the DNA and ultimately yield a unique binding and then banding pattern and his or her unique DNA fingerprint. So that is the story of the DNA fingerprinting methodology. So next is the STR. STR are currently the most popular type of DNA fingerprint, since the whole PCR process takes only a few hours compared to FLP or VNTR probe hybridization and film exposure, which can take several days. So here the STR can use much smaller samples of DNA than RFLP or the VNTR, and can even use partially degraded DNA to create a fingerprinting. So this is the advantage of using the STR technology. Thus the integrity and quality of the DNA sample is not as great a factor with STRs than with the traditional methods of the DNA fingerprinting. So that was the mention. And the standard forensic protocol analysis, that is the 13 core STR loci, which have been carefully chosen for their uniqueness. So the disadvantage of the STR approach is it is sensitive to contaminating DNA. So usually the STR approach is used first, followed by VNTR analysis if contamination is suspected and enough DNA is available. Next, what is the use of the DNA fingerprinting in the forensic investigations? So DNA forensics is one of the greatest tools in and piecing together in a crime scene. So over the past 10 years, there have been many advances in the methods of collecting and preserving these DNA samples to help and facilitate the acceptance of this evidence in the court. By avoiding contamination and properly storing it to prevent degradation, forensic science has made the monumental step in allowing DNA samples as valid evidence in many countries. So DNA evidence is now one of the most powerful tools used in determining who is responsible for a crime. So with criminals altering their fingerprints and other physical characteristics, DNA evidence is one of the only true methods to correctly identify an individual or the culprits. Now with the help of the chemicals such as 30 luminol, crime scenes at first analysis seem to have no physical evidence or further examined on the particle level, which make it almost impossible to leave a crime without a trace. Although there are still some factors that make it difficult to preserve a good DNA sample progress will continue to be made in the field of forensic science, which seems to have a limitless future in the technology to crime. So next we will know that what is the parentage, the parentage testing. So DNA fingerprinting is an advantageous technique in such as of establishing the paternity of disputed offspring or the cases of the baby swapping. So this method replaced ABO blood antigen systems on which cannot establish paternity but can conclusively exclude an alleged father from being a candidate. So the disputed paternity originates because of affiliation orders, diverse proceedings, and questioned the legitimacy. Also, it used to discover. Also, it is discovered the what the paternity in case of inheritance, the guardianship, the maintenance, the legitimacy, and adultery are the what's called the fornication, and this DNA fingerprinting also in the breast cancer detection because of the amplification of the DNA during PCR based DNA fingerprinting. It is possible to detect the presence of less than 10 cancerous cells in an entire lymph node. So this incredible sensitivity will allow doctors to determine whether tissue is cancerous long before a tumor would be visible by simply fingerprinting a sample of it. So such early detection will undoubtedly save countless lives. Doctors will also be able to see if a cancer has they metastasized or check whether or not they have removed all of a tumor by fingerprinting the biopsy. It is also used in botany. In a traditional plant science, DNA fingerprinting is an essential tool for genotype identification in both wild plant and cultivated species. DNA profiling is used for the protection of the biodiversity, identifying markers for traits, identification of the gene diversity and variations, identification in plants always been an issue for botanists because of the large variability of the composition and relative amount of chemicals. In particular, the species of the plant varies with growing condition, harvesting period, post harvesting period and storage conditions. So it has a great advantages of this DNA fingerprinting in the traditional the plant science also. It also it also used in zoology. In zoology, DNA fingerprinting determine the genetic ability of the individual like plants and measure the genetic variation in the natural plants of the animal populations, allowing the true genetic relationship among the individuals of the zoological specimens to be determined rather than them being inferred from field the observations. Further, it helps to test the predictions of kin selection models in a reliability and realistically way and detect the hybrid species in the zoology specimens also. To conclude that DNA fingerprinting DNA fingerprinting technique has become an important tool for scientific research. It's an important tool for scientific research because it allows identifying patterns in the known coding region of genetic material that makes every individual unique. Every individual for unique. For that reason, areas of these forensic investigations and the parentage testing have found an instrument to convict the criminals, identify the victims, and solve the parentage the disputes. Since Alec Jeffrey developed DNA fingerprinting technique in 1984, this technique has gone through for many adjustments from southern plot to PCR methods, from mini satellite to the micro satellites, and few markers have been developed according to the needs of the in the research fields. For example, in anthropological, the genetics, botany, and zoology. In the anthropological genetics, now very recently, very near to Madurai, all the anthropological specimens have been tested in the laboratory, and they are comparing the geological era of the specimens with the current the year. So this technology is very useful, as in the near future we will be able to learn more about the dynamics of the history of the populations in humans, animals, and plants, discover new and hybrid species in plants and animals, besides knowing more about the genetic information. So I think this is an exciting area of the both for the plants, animals, and human research, and definitely this will be a eye opening to every in the medical field, and they are going to have a miracle in the medical field. With this short note, I thank everyone for patient hearing to learn more about the DNA fingerprinting. Thank you one and all.